Hello there, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Let's dive into the news. The government will give assistance and support to traders in Pasar Tamu Bintulu and Bintulu Night Market following the closure due to the detection of COVID-19 positive case in the area. According to the Minister of Utilities, Dato Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi, the closure was in line with the Health Ministry's directive.
Kiranya penutupan yang berlarutan, kalau kita dapati ada kes-kes positif, kita akan mengambil langkah-langkah untuk membantu. Tapi jika sekiranya kes-kes semuanya negatif, kita boleh buka kembali operasi di pasar malam.
The Health Ministry will implement a mandatory COVID-19 screening for all the market traders in both areas. Rundi hopes that all the traders give their cooperation with the Bintulu Disaster Management Committee and the Ministry of Health.
Kita terpaksa mengambil langkah yang berhati-hati sedemikian kerana kita tidak mahu penularan ini tidak dapat kita kawal, ya. Jadi kita terpaksa mengambil tindakan yang sedemikian supaya kes-kes ini kita dapat kawal penularannya.
On Sunday, more than 300 market traders in Pasar Tamu Bintulu had to undergo COVID-19 screening tests.
Kita memang telah pengambilan sampel ada sebanyak 395 setakat ini. Kita masih sorting out. Kemungkinan ada penambahan kilas malam ini. Tapi proses pengambilan swab memang telah masih ongoing.
Meanwhile, one of the largest market in the state, namely the Sibu Central Market, is closed due to the sanitization works.
Actually, we'll be sanitizing the place. The reason is very simple. Because we have 47 positive. In other places, this one is already considered as a cluster.
The temporary closure won't be a barrier for traders in earning daily income, but for the health and safety as a top priority.
So, if the people in Sibu, wants to see this COVID come down, then these sort of problem areas must be closed immediately. Otherwise, this one will get more and more. Eventually, it may get to 200 a day.
Longhouse residents in Sibu is not the biggest contributor to the average number of new daily cases of coronavirus, as claimed by various parties. More than 70% COVID-19 positive case in the district shows that the transmission were caused by activities in the main city, such as drive-through and Sibu Jaya.
Assistant Minister for Education, Science and Technological Research, as well as the chairman of the Sibu Divisional Disaster Management Committee, Dr. Anwar Rapai, stated that only about 27% of the COVID-19 positive cases reported were from the Longhouses. In fact, only 90 Longhouses out of the 113 affected Longhouses listed is still free from exposure to COVID-19 positive cases.
A lot of people think that these infections, the number of cases we have every day confined to Rumah Panjang, to Longhouses. No. We have increased number of cases, people who go to drive-through. We also have increased number of cases, people going to Polyclinic Ladang, and of course, Sibu Jaya. And also we have more numbers people going to the private hospital. So in other words, the infection is all over Sibu. So please, the only way this is to keep yourself at home.
Right. The flood situation in Sarawak after the third wave of floods that hit the state since Tuesday is improving and saw the number of evacuees dropping from 1,002 people this morning to 823 in the afternoon.
The State Disaster Management Committee's Secretariat reported that the number of flood relief centers still in operation as of 4 p.m. had also dropped to 9. 2 PPS were closed in Serian, namely the Balai Babuk, Serian Community Hall and Balek Bunjanjun Hall at 2 p.m. Both PPS houses 6 and 29 flood victims respectively. Meanwhile, 5 PPS still operating in Serian Division are SK Tanah Puteh, which houses 350 victims, Serian Community Hall 148, Kampong Slabi Entukoh Village Hall 42, Kampong Rimba Padi Hall 75, and Ranchan Multipurpose Hall 33. Of the 9 PPS still in operation, 4 are in Simunjan, namely Lubok Buntin Community Hall, which houses 28 evacuees, Dewan Mesra Simunjan, 96, Dewan Kampung Entangor Sebuyau, 40, and Kampung Seruyok Mos, 12.
Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dato Sri Hajah Nancy Haji Shukri, is satisfied with the level of COVID-19 SOP compliance among evacuees at temporary evacuation centres located at Mesra Hall, Simunjan.
Not only that, Nancy said the compliance of SOP is to ensure the safety and health of all the evacuees is guaranteed. The PPS houses 19 families originating from Kampung Simunjan Jaya, Kampung Sabun, Kampung Kelka, Kampung Hijrah, and Kampung Melanjok. Agencies involved were the Asajayas Malaysian Civil Defence Force, the Royal Malaysia Police, the People's Volunteer Corps, National Disaster Management Agency, Social Welfare Department of Sarawak, the Ministry of Health, the Fire and Rescue Department, and several relevant agencies.
Meanwhile, in Kapit, the Fire and Rescue Department is always ready in preparation to effectively respond to flood situations in the region. However, the situation for the time being is under control.
Untuk situasi banjir di Kapit sekarang ini semua dalam keadaan terkawal lah. Tiada berlaku hujan berterusan dan air sungai pun dalam keadaan terkawal. Untuk monsun timur laut ni memang bomba sentiasa bersedialah bersama agensi penyelamat yang lain untuk kerja-kerja pemindahan jika ada dan untuk di PPS lah jika ada lah.
Moreover, Erwandi said the Fire and Rescue Department is also intensifying their efforts in breaking the chain of COVID-19 infections by carrying out public sanitization operation at temporary relief centres.
Sekarang ni pihak bomba bersama dengan pihak kesihatan terus dengan aktiviti sanitasi awam lah. So sepanjang PKP hari yang ke-6 untuk hari ini, untuk bulan Februari kita telah membuat untuk sanitasi sebanyak 14 sanitasi lah. Dan untuk Januari kita telah buat sebanyak 45 sanitasi lah.
Song and Kapit districts have been placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order for 14 days from February 2nd until February 15 following a surge in COVID-19 cases.
The search and rescue SAR operation for a 28-year-old villager from Kampung Bijurai Bau, who has been missing since February 3rd, will continue today after clue has been identified on Saturday.
According to Zone 1 Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department Chief Yusri Basri, the clue is revealed to be a hut built by the victim.
Pengkhususan pencarian kita pada hari kedua adalah kita mencari di sekitar dan di sepanjang laluan yang telah dilalui, di mana pada hari ini kita akan meredah 2 puncak gunung dan juga 2 puncak bukit yang memakan masa perjalanan lebih kurang 4 jam untuk sampai.
Joining the operation were a total of 16 firefighters personnel, Malaysia Civil Defence Force, the Royal Malaysia Police and village residents.
Cuma kekangan ataupun cabaran pada hari kedua adalah hujan yang masih turun sehingga sekarang, di mana kita memang pasti laluan adalah memang sukar, licin, becak dan juga yang utama kita khawatir adalah berlakunya ataupun terjadi kepala sungai.
The operation is also assisted by canine detection dogs. According to the report, the victim went missing after a fishing trip with a friend at a river near the village. The friend claimed they took a jungle trail home from the river and he did not realize that the victim, who had been walking a distance behind him, had gone missing. The friend also claimed that he initially thought that the victim had gone through the jungle to make his own way home. The victim's brother then filed a missing persons report at the Bau Police Headquarters.
Hello there and thank you for staying with us. Now moving on. According to the National Parent Teacher Association PIBGN and Malaysian Pharmacy Society PFM, teachers and educators should be given priorities in the soon-to-be implemented national COVID-19 immunization program. PIBGN President Datuk Muhammad Ali Hassan and PFM President Amrahi Buang said in a joint statement today that the priority was appropriate so that schools could be reopened. This will ensure a safe environment for children as well as provide stability to the education ecosystem. The statement added, this move will reduce anxiety and concern among parents about sending their children to their respective schools. They both said that since the COVID-19 vaccination currently did not involve individuals aged 18 and below, students needed to be protected through the immunization of their teachers. Previously, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the government would begin to roll out the national COVID-19 immunization program at the end of this month. 80% of the country's population, or approximately 26.5 people, set to receive the vaccine free of charge. The vaccine production process is definitely something that everyone wants to know about. The vaccine is produced from the entirety or part of a virus or bacteria that has been weakened or killed. However, the messenger RNA vaccine is produced without the need of a virus or bacteria. What is certain is that both vaccines will not change the human DNA.
Oleh itu, vaksin yang dihasilkan sama ada menggunakan virus, bakteria ataupun mRNA adalah selamat. Dan ia tidak berupaya untuk menyebabkan penyakit kepada individu yang sihat.
However, Dr. Hisham Shah added the vaccine will be tested before distribution.
Di samping itu, sebelum sesuatu vaksin itu dibenarkan untuk digunakan oleh orang awam, tahap keselamatan vaksin tersebut akan dibuktikan terlebih dahulu melalui kajian praklinikal ke atas haiwan dan juga kajian klinikal fasa 1, fasa 2 dan fasa 3. Ini dilaksanakan kepada trial participant atau manusia volunteers.
Phase 1 is a study involving several volunteers to find out the effects of the vaccine and its safety in the early stage. Phase 2 involves a few hundred volunteers to test in depth the safety level and the doses that are needed. Meanwhile, Phase 3 will involve thousands of volunteers to find out the rare side effects and the vaccine's effectiveness level. Dr. Hisham Shah stressed the Drug Control Authority will also register only products that meet quality security and effectiveness standards based on the evaluations by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency. The government should give priority to putting in place an indemnity system to help boost public confidence in the national COVID-19 immunization program.
Alliance for Safe Community Chairman Tan Sri Lilam Tai said the indemnity system could take the form of a vaccine injury financial assistance program. Lee said such system will further enhance public confidence in the safety of the vaccine, which is a necessary step to assuage those who have been influenced by negative reports in social media. He said this is also where the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency has a crucial role to play, whereby it must be independent and free to make the best decision for the country and the people.
Now on to the COVID-19 developments. The COVID-19 death toll in Sarawak today rose to 50 after 2 new deaths were recorded in Sibu. Meanwhile, the state recorded 290 new positive cases today, bringing the total number of cases to 5,676. Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee (SDMC) in a statement said Sibu recorded the highest number of cases with 55 new cases, followed by Song with 50 cases and Beluru at 35. The State Health Department had also identified a new COVID-19 cluster dubbed the Saruas cluster in Beluru. The committee said this cluster involves a longhouse at Sarawang Tengah, Saruas, and Bakong in Beluru district. The index case for this cluster is a 61-year-old woman who was screened after experiencing symptoms on January 28. The spread of the virus was believed to be through close contact with those attending a funeral ceremony at the said longhouse on January 25 to 27. SDMC said the Longhouse has been put under the Enhanced Movement Control Order EMCO. Following the announcement of this latest cluster, there are now 15 active COVID-19 clusters throughout Sarawak. In national COVID-19 news, Malaysia recorded a total of 3,731 new cases and 15 deaths due to the virus. Out of the total number of cases, 8 were imported while the rest were local transmissions. The total death toll of the virus nationwide has risen to 872. The Health Ministry also informed that 3,369 cases had been discharged and recovered. The number of people with active COVID-19 infections in Malaysia now stands at 51,241. Currently, 292 patients are in intensive care treatment with 140 requiring ventilator support. Samarahan district is now an orange zone for COVID-19 after recording a total of 25 local infection cases in the past 14 days. Based on Ministry of Health's classification, districts with more than 40 cases in a 2-week period is classified as red zones, 21 to 40 cases as orange zones, 1 to 20 cases as yellow zones, and those with no cases as green zones. On the other hand, Betong district has improved to yellow zone from orange zone previously, after recording only 9 local infection cases in the past 14 days. 9 districts, namely Lundu, Beluru, Kapit, Song, Dalat, Bintulu, Kanowit, Miri, and Sibu, remain as the red zones in the state with accumulated number of 1,951 local infection cases in a 2-week period. The districts of Kuching, Selangau, Sriaman, Matu, Bau, and Subis remain as orange zones with a total of 159 local infection cases in the past 14 days. Saratok, Sarikay, Sabao, Daro, Lawas, Talang Usan, Bukit Mabong, Tatao, Pakan, Surian, Balaga, Maradong, Julao, Simunjan, and Lubok Antu districts stay as yellow zones with accumulated number of 101 cases in a 2-week period. The 8 districts which are still green zones or with 0 cases are Asajaya, Limbang, Tanjong Manis, Tabadu, Mukah, Pusa, Kabong, and Marudi. Hello there and welcome back. The State Immigration Department today foiled an attempt by 2 local men to smuggle 19 illegal immigrants during Obsercap. State Disaster Management Committee SDMC in a statement yesterday said the immigrants were transported in a public bus in Betong heading to Miri when the department's quick response team QRT foiled the attempt at 1:15 a.m. CESA had recently sought permission from MSN to reopen the selection for the athletes to be included in the long list for Sukma Johor. Sarawak Esports Association CESA President Afiq Fadli Narawi said the chance is bright for the new talents aged below 21 to be included in the long list.
Jadi kita tunggu keputusan daripada mesyuarat Jawatankuasa Khas Sukma 2022. Dan lepasnya baru kita boleh buat tindakan lah, atau sama ada kita boleh cari pakat baru ataupun di sebaliknya lah.
Afiq said the ever changes of gameplay also forced the association to find more new skilled players. He hoped that more young gamers will grab the opportunity to be selected into the state squad by participating in the esports competition. He said this is also an excellent chance for them to represent the state and prove their capabilities to become a world-class gamer.
Right, the country's top women's singles shuttlers Sonia Chia and 4 other senior players have been dropped by the Badminton Association of Malaysia following their poor performance at 3 tournaments in Thailand recently. The others shown the exit by the BIM Coaching and Training Committee are mixed doubles shuttlers Goh Soon Huat, Shavon Lai and Lai Peijing, as well as former Commonwealth Games women's doubles gold medalist Vivian Hu. BAM decided to release these players after a periodic review of Project 24. It is a strategic plan aimed at instilling a winning mentality and creating world beaters to help Malaysia win gold at the 2024 Paris Olympics and enter the Thomas Cup finals. Men's singles shuttlers Ter Chun Lung and Lo Yu Chong and men's doubles player Chin Kai Feng and Oi Jirdar have also been dropped by the national body. The committee also decided to promote Vivian Goh, Lee Shun Yang, Shakim Aiman from men's singles, Kay Lechana from women's singles, Yap Roy King, Noor Firdaus Asman, Lu Bing Kun, and Lee Shi Hao from men's doubles to the national backup squad from their probation. The Asian Football Confederation, AFC, has given until February 15th for all teams in Group G to finalize their stand regarding their remaining matches in the second round of the World Cup 2022 and Asia Cup 2023 qualifiers. The same deadline has also been fixed by AFC for all 40 teams competing in the qualifiers, involving 8 groups, in determining whether to continue playing in FIFA's calendar for March or postpone the matches to June. AFC Secretary General Datuk Winsor Paul John said the time frame is being given in view of the decision-making process in each country being different and influenced by various factors. Winsor said, so far there has been no decision on the venue if the competition is moved to June, but AFC will assist the teams to choose a hosting country. Meanwhile, Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia had stated their agreement that the remaining matches are to be held in Carnival Forum in the United Arab Emirates. According to FA or Malaysia Deputy President Dato Muhammad Yusuf Mahadi, Vietnam, who are the leaders of Group G, are the only team left to state their stand on the matter. Thousands of people have taken to the street of Myanmar main city, Yangon, for a second day of mass protests over the military coup of nearly a week ago. Men and women, many of them young, held up pictures of detained leaders Aung San Suu Kyi and wore red, the color of her National League for Democracy party.
Respect our vote. Read one banner in reference to the NLD landslide win in November election. On Saturday, the military shut down the country's internet connections. Yet people have still been finding ways to get images and videos of the protests out. Many demonstrators gave the three-fingered symbol of protest salute and held red balloons, while car and buses slowed to sound their horns in support. Police trucks and officers in riot gear were stationed at the streets near Yangon University. So far, the military authorities are not stopping this show of mass defiance, but everyone assumes they will try before long.
And that concludes our Nightline. With that, I'm Henny Gui. Thank you for joining us and have a pleasant night.